What's up, guys? Shockwave 640 here, and today, finally, we're going to be taking a look at my first Shockwave review, because of course my channel's name is Shockwave 640, so of course we're going to have to review a few Shockwaves, shall we? So here we have Fall of Cybertron Shockwave from the video game, and this is his battle cruiser mode, and I think this is like a cannon here, and then you can see the what would be the cockpit, and then wing, silver, lots of robot down at the bottom. But before we get into the actual review itself, I do want to announce how I have changed my YouTube icon. Originally it was Dreamwave, a picture found of Dreamwave, and if you don't know who Dreamwave is, he's a form of Shockwave from one of the comics, I do believe, and they just call him Dreamwave as a fan name. His name is still Shockwave in the comic, but it's the Dreamwave style. And so for my new icon, I have drawn this. Yes, it is Shockwave 640. So that is my new icon, and you can see that just sitting right up there. So it'll be way more visible once I actually have bigger figures and I actually have to point up there. So that's that. I just thought I'd show you guys that. But let's do the size comparisons first. And first of all, of course, we're going to do more Shockwaves. So here's the Commander class Transformers Prime Shockwave that I use quite frequently in my size comparisons. And so here he is with that in vehicle mode, of course. I'll do robot mode as well. And another thing I wanted to say, in my last two videos I did forget to do the articulation. And the Optimus Prime, in my Lego Optimus Prime mock, I did do the articulation in that one for a specific reason. I actually didn't forget on that one. I forgot on the one before, though. My ADD got the best of me. But the Optimus Prime one, I didn't announce it in the video because it slipped my mind to, but I didn't do it in that one because it's so fragile. If I tried to show you the articulation, it would just crumble in my hands. So I didn't really want to do that. But it's basically got the standard action figure articulation. The only thing is the arms don't swivel in and out. That's the only downfall. But continuing the size comparisons, here we have the Voyager class Transformers Prime Shockwave. And so there he is with Voyager Shockwave. And setting off Voyager Wavy, let's bring in a few Gundams, shall we? Here first we have my custom high-grade high-mach Gundam, and this is the high-grade high-mach Gundam, like normal, with the extra stickers from the GM2 and the Battle Arms, armatures and weapons and such that comes with, which I will review all of those during their proper times. I already reviewed the GM2 though, and they're pretty much the same height, especially with those missile pods that makes a high mach about the same height. But like pretty much all of my Gundams, they're not standing, they're in the pose that they are on the shelf. They're not standing fully erected. And also bringing in another Gundam, here's, make him stand real quick. Here is the Star Build Strike, the high grade Star Build Strike from Gundam Build Fighters. So there is that. Shockwave does stand taller with the thrusters there. So that's that. That also will get reviews. All of these will get reviews eventually. Maybe I'll review them this week, actually. It just depends on how I'm feeling about my reviews. But so let's get in here and look at the details. So really nice, vivid, clear pink there, and some pink paint there. You can see some nice, like, silver-ish color. The thruster there, which is not actually game accurate. The thruster should be much bigger because that's what it looked like in the game. A little bit of silver here, nice molded detail, and you can also see the top of Shockwave's head right there, but that's not really his head. His actual head is right under there. So I do like that. They actually kept a few of the game designs, because in the game that is actually a thing that he has. And I have seen this also fan moded into his gun mode. He didn't have that in the game, but everybody knows that Shockwave originally turned into a gun. And basically what you do with that is you flip it upside down, you fold this straight out. Oh, sorry, you couldn't do zero doing. You fold that straight out, and then you fold this back, and there you have Shockwave in his gun mode. And then you can just hold that right there, and then just shoot stuff. The only downfall is you have all of this robot junk at the top of the gun, but it fits kind of nicely. I've got small hands, but it still doesn't have enough grip, but you can manage. I mean, it's okay. And then if you really wanted to, you could fold those feet out to give it a little bit more of something, but I like to keep them forward. So that is that. So folding that back down. Let's just keep these out because we're going to go into transformation now. And so to do the transformation, basically These are on a double hinge or a triple hinge. There's a hinge there, and a ball joint here. Or, well, yeah, hinge there, hinge. Yeah, okay, there's triple hinge technically because those ball joints on the elbows. You just basically want to untap that. It simply just tabs into those two holes using those two tabs. And then doing that will most likely make these two unseparate, if that's even a word. It'll make them unseparate. That's going to be a new thing I'm going to say now in the videos, unseparation. So you want to fold these wings back. You want to unseparate these. Oh, that one was way too tight. I've never done that before. But basically you want to fold those down, rotate the arm, or the shoulders technically, rotate those out, come in here, fold out the hand, and then just kind of orient his arms properly. Do the same on the other side, and then come here, fold these down, and they will tab in right there using that tab hanging off right there. And that simply goes in like so. Fold up the foot, do the same on this side, fold it down, and slide that over there and push it down. And then you want to come in here, untab if you have this tabbed in, you want to untab it, pull the gun from his butt, set that off to the side. Gotta get him standing, make sure his arms and everything are proper. And you want to fold this up, and then here's a pretty cool part. As soon as you fold this down, you go here, and you can kind of see it's resisting you. But as soon as you push this down, his head pops up. So that's a cool gimmick. And then these will just tap into those two holes using those two slots, and boom, you got all that locks into place. Fold down the arms on that first primary hinge, and here you have Fall of Cybertron SHOCKWAVE. And I have to say, this is probably one of the best figures to come out of the Fall of Cybertron line, I would have to say. Because the Bruticus, it sucked. I want to get it still because I love the Bruticus from that. And they do have that that one upgrade kit that comes with the better onslaught to make the entire Bruticus look better. But I don't have the money to afford either of that because they're both highly, highly expensive. And I just don't have the money to do it. But eventually, when my YouTube channel grows and I do start making money off of it, then I'll be able to actually purchase these things so that you guys can see them. And I'll get into details and all that stuff whenever they actually do come. So that is all of that. And now let's get into the details real quick and look at Shockwave's details. He's got the super great light piping there in the eye. So that's cool. He's got his silver ears painted out. You can still see the whatever it's called, transparent, that's what it was. Then he's got this nice Decepticon logo, a little bit of pink, some silver, more pink, some silver, a little bit hollow here and there, but it's okay, not too bad. At least they actually did put these like thruster kind of things that Shockwave had actually on the back of his legs in the game. They don't look like they do in the game, but at least they kind of technically put them there. And then on the bottoms of his feet, he's just got that stuff hanging off, but it actually doesn't look that bad. It just kind of looks weird if you're looking at it from the bottom. But they do help him stand greatly because he kind of leans back a little bit. You can kind of fix it if you make him lean forward, or if you bend his knees, then he looks weirder. So you really can't fix it. Just the way that his legs are, he kind of wants to lean back a little bit. It doesn't mean that he's going to fall over. Well, he just did because I was pushing him. But it doesn't mean if a slight shake, it means he's going to fall over, because I'm shaking the table right now and he's barely even budging. All my size comparisons were wiggling all over the place, but he didn't even move. But he technically did. Now, for his weapon here, he can hold it using that port, or that peg, or whatever you would call it. He can hold that, and you just simply slide that into his hand, and then he can hold it as this, which looks stupid, in my opinion. Or you can use that same peg, and you can peg it right into that hole on his backpack, and then you can have that. He can also peg it upward if you prefer that look, or which everybody wants to do, as far as I can tell. He can, with either of his hands, he can fold his hand back in, like you're transforming him into his vehicle mode. There's a fly bothering me. And then you take it here, and you see that tab right there, and that will fit right into that slot that was now revealed, and then right there, and boom. You have Shockwave with his arm cannon. Now, I know people are going to be like, wait, why does this toy even have this feature? The reason why the toy has this... And that game well done. The reason why this toy has this feature is an homage to the original Shockwave, or pretty much any other Shockwave from the Transformers universe. They pretty much always have had an arm cannon. ever since Shockwave went through the special surgery that Transformers get whenever they become the Cyclopean Transformer, which basically that means that they're punished. It's also a sign of racism, but basically they completely ruin the head and they damage the optical circuits and make them where they have terrible vision, and also giving them one eye. And then they also remove the hands and just give them little claws, kind of like Whirl has, because Whirl wasn't able to get the chance to get his hands repaired, so he was stuck with that. But Megatron actually came to Shockwave and offered him new hands. Shockwave, in the IDW comics, he decided to keep his head the way that it was, because he wanted this as a reminder against Optimus, which is actually false information, because Optimus actually decided to help Shockwave. Optimus wanted to try to help Shockwave during the crime that he committed. I won't say which crime he committed, because just in case I don't want to do too many spoilers, but Optimus was trying to help Shockwave, but Shockwave was fooled into thinking that Optimus was the one that caused him to get the surgery that ruined Shockwave, basically. So Megatron offered him 2 new hands and a new head. Shockwave said, no, I just want 1 new hand, I don't want to keep my head, and I want to completely just remove my other arm. But he didn't actually say that. What he did is he outfitted his arm with a cannon to prepare for a battle they were going to do. I'm not going to get into detail into that because of spoilers and stuff, but he basically outfitted himself with a cannon. He turned out never having to use it, so he was like, oh well, I'm stuck with it, so screw it. So that's what happened. And then shortly after that, Shockwave deleted his feelings because he felt it was getting in the way of his work, and Megatron was getting displeased. So Shockwave deleted his feelings and said that it would be more logical for his experiments and combiner creating. So that was kind of unnecessary information. It doesn't even have anything to do with this Shockwave, but I just thought I'd point that out just in case anybody had no idea why he has 1 eye or an arm cannon. So any new Transformer fans or old Transformer fans that just didn't know anything about Cyclopean Transformers like Whirl, Shockwave, and various others. But yeah, so you learn something new every day. And also, one of my friends was asking me about the scratch. I basically got that scratch by playing with my cat the other day. His name's Bob, and he scratched me in the hand when I was playing with him. So if you keep seeing that scratch, then that's why. So let's do the size comparisons real quick, shall we? So let me get Shockwave standing here nice and tall, and making him look forward, like so. So here is Shockwave. Make sure he's actually looking natural. There we go. So let's bring in the same size comparisons. Here is Commander Class Shockwave. And so, it's obviously Commander versus Deluxe, so it won't scale properly, but you could see that there. Shockwave goes about up to his shoulders with these spikes there, but to the head he goes up to his lower chest. And bringing in Voyager Wavy. So here's Voyager Wavy. So you can see that. He goes up to Voyager Wavy's lower chest, kind of like how Voyager goes up to Deluxe. Here is the Starbuild Strike again. They're about the same height because high grades are usually about Deluxe scale anyways, so there is that. And bringing back in my custom High Mach. And so there is that. So, and he just knocked over everything. I don't even know why he fell over. So yeah, there's that. And now let's go over the articulation so I don't forget again. So, articulation, his head's on a swivel, it's not on a ball joint, so he's not going to look up or down. Technically, can look down, but it just springs back up because it is spring-loaded. It would have been nice if they gave it a ball joint, but they didn't, so, oh well. I guess it kind of technically adds to the emotionlessness of Shockwave. Emotionlessness, that's not even a word. But yeah, it just kind of adds to that, I guess. The swivels here, the really tight ones on mine, they kind of get stuck everywhere. The arms go out about that far. They have that hinge there for transformation, but it can be used. If you wanted your Shockwave to have like a really wide arm, I guess you could do. You can kind of get like the cowboy walk. It kind of be like, this place is only big enough for one of us, or something like that. I guess you could do. If you really wanted to. If you wanted your Shockwave to be a Western Shockwave, you can also get like a little cowboy hat, put that on his head. Why not? And he fell over. So you can do it. It's a thing you can do. I think you can do with the toys you want, with the things you can do with the toys that you have that you can do. But, where was it? Oh yeah, articulation. The elbows are on a ball joint. The hands, when they're out, they can go in and out for transformation. And you do get ball jointed hips, and they can go way up there, way back there. You do get a swivel right above the knee. You get a bend, which is about 90, and the toes do ballerina point. so he can point at people with his toes, because his hands don't do it, because he doesn't have articulated hands. See? There. Those blocks of plastic. So, that is all of that. Another thing I noticed is, do these remind you of Grimlock? If anybody knows what I'm talking about when I'm talking about these two spikes right here, put it in the comments below. This reminds me of Grimlock. Maybe it's because they're arch enemies in the game. Spoiler alert. Oh well. You've been spoiled enough already. But, what other details? Oh yeah, it's also got a spine. Kind of weird. So, oh yeah, another thing you can do is if you don't like the wings straight up on his back, you can also kind of angle them back, and you can do that look if you want. But I don't do it. I like how they look like that. In the game, the wings are actually much smaller, but I prefer them big like this. They look pretty cool when they're huge and massive and massively huge and humongous and stuff. So yeah. Another thing the gun can do is you can pop off this part, which is just clear plastic with silver paint over it, and then you get an actual gun that was in the game. It's a neutron assault rifle, I believe is what it was called. And so yeah, you can get him with an anti-aircraft cannon. That's kind of what it looks like. So if you want to do that, you can do it. I kind of like displaying them like this sometimes, but most of the time I just keep him with his classical gun just because it looks cool. And there's a certain way that this has to go on. You basically have to line up the way that these angled bits are in that middle thing right there. You have to line them up with the shapes on here. Sometimes I get it wrong, sometimes not really, and that just goes on like so. And also, if you don't want to have this on, there actually is storage for it. That peg right there, you can fit this on. Just pushing that on there, and there you go. You have storage for that, so it kind of adds on to his backpack. Kind of makes him look a little bit weird, but since you don't, if you display your figures like this, then you'll probably be bothered, but I don't. I display them like this. So, well, this was the Transformers Fall of Cybertron Decepticon Shockwave. And why am I not putting this on right? There we go. So this was Transformers Fall of Cybertron Deluxe Class Shockwave. My opinion on this toy is I love it. I am glad that I got this figure. I probably would be crying right now under a pile of rubbish if I didn't get this figure. But that's because Shockwave is my favorite Transformer, and I pretty much love any Shockwave toy, even if it was in Beast Wars. Yes, even if it was. But it's not. So, so this was Shockwave, and I'm Shockwave, so if you liked the video, please leave a like. If you don't like the video, or if you have issues with the videos or with parts of my reviews and anything that I could improve on, please tell me down in the comments, because I'm open to new suggestions to add new contents. Like, I don't even have an official ender thing to my video, so my videos have no proper ending. They're kind of random and just me blabbling on about toys and toys and toys. So, yeah. What else? Oh yeah, so tell me what you think about this toy down in the comments below. Tell me if you like it, tell me if you don't like it, and if you don't like it, or if you do like it, tell me why. I want the reasons why, you guys. So, this was Shockwave 640, and I had to say, thanks for watching the video. Peace.